This tutorial is divided into two parts. Part 1 is about the basic knowledge in Photoshop elements. Part 2 is about the practice itself. Hello and welcome to my tutorial. I'm Martin W. Larouche. You can also watch this tutorial number 4, how to brighten a photo. It covers the same subject but uses different techniques. In this photo, what I'll do is illuminate the structure under the overpass, using basically a duplicate, a mask, and a filter. The first thing to do is to make a duplicate. Then you select the area in question, and you click on the layer mask icon. It looks like a square with a round hole in it, and you'll get automatically a layer mask. On the duplicated layer, it's time to make it brighter. In this case, the white area of the mask will allow only the bright area under the overpass to be seen. Remember, those two photos are combined into one. The next step, improve the colors and reduce the noise. These problems with colors and noise will emerge almost every time. To keep your work, you can save your photo in the PSD format file. Therefore, you can come back days later and rework it. Or you can save your work in the JPEG format file. This format will merge all things down. Here you'll see some results when using layer masks. First, the original photo. When you create a mask, by default, it's white. As a final output, you get nothing more, no change here. If you fill the whole area of the mask with black, nothing will be visible. Those white and gray squares are in fact transparency. As a result, nothing to print or to be seen. Now, if you have a white circle at the bottom left corner, you'll get this result. In other words, with some white you can see the photo, some black you cannot see. Another example, this time with a black and white gradient. The area at the bottom is fully visible, but gradually disappears at the top. First of all, noise in photography is not a sound. Noise is rather a distortion, and it can be seen as a grainy surface, with or without colorful speckles. In my photo here, if I zoom in, you can see the grain in the dark area. That's before using a filter to fix the problem, and then after using a filter. In this example, we have a very strong noise. With the zoom tool, I go closer, like this. Around this area we have no noise, or so. But around here we can see noise, all over the dark area. We can see colorful speckles. If I go down a bit, around here it was supposed to be gray. There were no colors in that area when I took the picture. We can even see horizontal lines. Here and here. Always bear in mind this, whether you're shooting with a digital camera, an old camera, a smartphone, or a tablet, you have to take into consideration the ISO. The ISO feature or ISO feature is in fact synonymous with sensitivity toward light. When set at 3300 or 1600, you'll get some noise, sure. Try to shoot at 200 or lower to avoid too much noise in your photo. The lower the ISO is, the less noise you'll get. To wrap things up, you get noise in shadows, when shooting in poor lighting conditions, and when the ISO is set too high on your machine. Okay, let's do it. I'm going to work on this area, but I'm leaving this area as is. First of all, I need to unlock the layer. Here. And give a name to it. I name it Original. And I hit OK. There's a quick method to duplicate a layer. I click on the original layer, hold my click down, and drag it to the new layer icon. Here. The next step is to make the selection with the polygonal lasso. Here. I make sure I have a good feather, like some 20 pixels. I stretch the corner a bit. I go up, begin to click. And I surround the area under the overpass. To close my selection, I have to go back to my starting point. Here. Now that my selection has been set, I can click on the layer mask icon. Here. Here you can see the new mask in black and white. Next, I'll rename the layer. I call it Brighter, and I hit Enter. To check my mask, I hold the Alt key on my keyboard and I click on the mask itself. The white area that you see here has to be blurry, otherwise we would see a clear demarcation. I click once more on the mask. Don't forget to click on the layer thumbnail here to be able to make your changes. Let's begin with Enhance, Adjust Lighting, and Levels. Click and drag the white cursor to the left like this until it gets brighter. Whoa, that's too much. Don't worry about the red color. Okay, that's better. I take the zoom tool and I enlarge this area. Okay, that's good. No demarcation. I come back with the hand tool. Once more I take Enhance, Adjust Lighting, and Levels. This time I'm adjusting the red channel only. I move around the gray cursor to see what's happening. That's too much. I go back to the right to make it darker. It looks better now. Now I'll take the blue channel. Move the gray cursor around. Now it gets violet, orange, as I move around. And I stop here. It looks better now. To accept those changes, I click OK. To optimize the color, I go further. With Enhance, adjust color, and adjust hue saturation. Here I can choose which color channel to adjust. I'll take the red channel for now. I can change the saturation from maximum to no color at all. I go back to the right to add more color. Finally, minus 24 will be acceptable. Then I can go back to normal and play with the lightness cursor. It's too bright here. Whoa, that's too dark. And I stop at minus 42. This way is darker than before. It looks pretty good. The next step is to reduce the noise under the overpass. So I take the zoom tool, click and drag like this. In this dark area we can see the noise, or grain if you like. Here there's no noise in this beige area. I go down a bit just to compare. To reduce or get rid of noises, I recommend the Smart Blur in the Blur submenu, the Surface Blur, and the Reduce Noise Filter. In our case, we'll take the Reduce Noise filter. So I take Filter, Noise, and Reduce Noise. So I move around the strength slider. Let's try half the strength. If I hold my click down inside this window, I can see how it will look like before hitting OK. The grain seems to disappear as I go down. I go back to the top and I reduce the strength some more. Okay, that's good. If you move this slider, the grain will gradually be reintroduced. Let's put it back where it was. This slider is supposed to eliminate the speckles in the photo. It's important to have this box checked. Okay, that's good. To see everything, I hit the hand tool here. Okay, now let's see how it looks with or without the masked area. As I click on the eyeball here. I click again to see what I've done so far. Pretty good. That's it. You can save your work in the PSD format file. It can be reworked if necessary afterward. Or you can save your work in the JPEG format file. It's a flattened version of your work. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next tutorial. Bye.